Triggers defined. So what exactly is a trigger, and are there different types? Let's first go through the making of a trigger before we define it, so the definition can make sense to you. A trigger started on or before your wedding day. And you're like, Dr. Weiss, that doesn't even make sense. It's because of what no, it's not because of what he did. And I hope as you understand the partner betrayal model, trauma started when trust was given. When you gave all of yourself to a man, spirit, soul, and body, you became vulnerable to trauma. He promised before God, family, friends, to forsake all others, even including himself. He promised to love, honor, and cherish just you. Total trust is the background of all triggers. If you weren't all in, you would not have been traumatized. You'd have been indifferent. The fact that your heart, your soul, your body, your sexuality was all in is the background of all triggers. They're symbolic of the trust you gave and the trust that was broken and how it was broken. So understand that. The D-Day that happened to you was the place where total trust became betrayal. See, you were all in, and that betrayal of him, his betrayal of you and your spirit, soul, body, sexuality, finances, and family and children, his betrayal of you, all of your relationships, your future and your past, that caused trauma. Okay? Then the story comes out, and oftentimes, sadly, in dribbles and in large pukes, and sometimes at your pushing and pushing and pushing and demanding for more information. Okay? Very rarely does a man come forward with 100% of the story up front. And so you're kind of going through this back and forth as you're collecting the data on the trauma, on the events that actually happened, on the betrayal, how, when, who, what, and all that. And the very shock of the story is traumatic. Most of you weren't suspecting anything at all. You were going through laundry and kids and your job and the things that make you feel good about life and taking care of yourself and loving the people around you, okay? You weren't oftentimes suspicious or aware of this. And then the details of when, how long, who, where it began, starts to fill in his confession. And here is where triggers are created. In the context of broken trust. And a variety of events now begin to symbolize the variety of broken trust. You begin to pair your broken trust to the events, the people, the places, and they become symbols now of your heart being broken. Okay? Being triggered is a reminder of the trauma of being betrayed. That is why you're triggered. The feeling so visceral, and what I mean by visceral is it's throughout your whole body. It's not intelligent, it's not emotional, it's beyond words or thoughts. It's your being that is being triggered, not just your mind. You're not having just a thought problem. Your being is trying to process trauma. And now it has all this information, and it's connecting information to events and places and people. And those are now really potential triggers. Triggered is when the body, the soul, the spirit is recalling betrayal trauma viscerally, brought about by interacting with an internal, an external, or a meaning stimulus. Okay, that is what triggered is. Triggered is something reminding you that you were betrayed. Something reminding you that you were hurt. Something reminding you of his cruel, selfish choices. That's what being triggered is. And it hurts. And it's painful to the core of who you are, the core of your heart, the core of your spirit. That's why you kind of cringe and cry, and sometimes you can't even have a word, you can't even breathe. It so impacts all of who you are. because you were all in, because you're a good woman, because you gave all. That's why you're being triggered. So again, be gracious with yourself, but that's what a trigger is.